for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game.
Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. How you doing? It's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. It's December 14th, 348 days into the new year. Just 17 days left. As always, we are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California, and I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. Yeah, this is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? It's Thursday night. It is Fader Night. Yeah, man. Got Jon Rappoport coming in here shortly with his No More Fake Newsroom live, followed by open lines all night long. Call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All right. Yeah, man. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. At JChurchRadio. If you want to jump into one of the chat rooms, you can do that over on Spreaker. You can also head over to the dynamic KGRA, the planet, and jump in on those chat rooms. They're both open and live. Okay, here we go. Thursday night, Fader night. All subjects are on the table. Oh, man. Crazy news day again today. It surpassed yesterday for sure, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before. It's going to, news is going to get so big. I mean, what do you got to do for a headline today? What do you have to do to top the news? I mean, you got to be, I mean, just think about that. All right. Follow us on Twitter, at JChurchRadio, Facebook, YouTube. You know what to do there. And we use TweetDeck here. We use TweetDeck for Twitter. So get yourself a TweetDeck, and once you do that, it runs automatically, everybody. It's not your normal Twitter. It's a Twitter product, but it runs automatically, and it once you get it set up and you put what you want to follow, the hashtags or the people that you want to follow, you plug in their names, and you have columns. And then when somebody posts something, either with that hashtag, for us it's hashtag F2B or hashtag F2BQ, and I'm following, I have myself, and then, of course, for those notifications, and then I have Rita. So that's what I have. I have 4 columns set up. But they advance automatically. You don't have to update or click on notifications or do anything that you normally do in Twitter. And you can follow the conversations and get inside of the conversations and see what's going on. Very fun. That's what we use here. Okay? And if you get TweetDeck, you download it, and it'll run in your browser. I use the old version. I use the standalone, which I like. But anyway, once you get it, just come on over, hashtag F2B, and say, hey, I need some help. What do I do next? And that's it. That'll be the only time, one of the Fadernauts will come to your rescue, get you all set up, but you will never use TweetDeck the same again. Or Twitter, I should say, the same again. It's amazing, and it's fun. It's really cool. Okay, so that's what we do here. The sandbox is hashtag F2B, and during a typical show, we'll do something. Yeah, thank you, Eric. Eric just tweeted a picture of his TweetDeck. So that's what okay, so he's got TweetDeck there, and then he's got the show cam. He's got the bunker cam over here, looks like on a tablet. It's a pretty cool little setup. I like that. I'm going to retweet that. So that's what TweetDeck looks like, okay? And it's really cool. Just pop, 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 automatically. It's really, really fun. It's a good way to interact throughout the show. Okay, tonight is Fader Night. Open lines all night long, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Hello to everybody on the bunker cam, all of you crazy Fadernauts out there. Let's do this. It's going to be another fun night. A couple of things really quick. If you have any questions or comments during the show, hashtag F2BQ. That's Fade to Black questions. Any questions for me, I will answer those live on the air. Okay. You can email throughout the show, too, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. I'm going to get a few things out of the way really quick. Our next event will be the Conscious Life Expo coming up February 9th through the 12th, 2018 at the LAX Hilton. Tickets and information, just go over to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Conscious Life Expo banner. Over the weekend, we will get another banner up for the live stream. Okay, so if you can't make it to the conference, the next best thing is the live stream. And so you might want to check into that. It's really cool. You can see a bunch of the events, and the live stream schedule is up there as well. So everybody's posting a picture now of their studio setup with TweetDeck. This is pretty cool. Check out, how big are those monitors? Man, those are big. I dig that. That's from John, Frankie Four Fingers. That's really cool. So he's got, looks like two of those 22s, of those 24s. And then what's up in the sky there? Is that a big screen TV? So you've got Twitter. Holy crap, man. That's a pretty intimidating setup there. And it looks like he's got a center channel speaker, so he's running the show in surround. Wow. Pretty intimidating. Okay. Sabrina says, but Jimmy, I thought you said I don't ask questions. You said I only make statements. There you go. Okay, so yeah, so F2BQ is off limits to Sabrina. Normally at that point, I would say, Sabrina, you got to stand in the corner. 5 minutes. Stand in the corner. Okay, so that's where we are there. You can also, a couple of things. I was speaking to the folks over at Coast to Coast AM today, scheduling out for the rest of the month. It's going to be pretty busy. And we were talking about a few different things. How we run Fade to Black, how we do things here, and the logistics of stuff, and how busy our day is. And it's really, really bleeping crazy how busy we are. And I really appreciate how busy we are now that Rita is in New York and I'm all by myself. But so every single day, this is what we do here. When I say that, go and subscribe to our podcast, that we have over 750 archive shows, just $2 a month. That the effort that goes into that podcast, which is a replay of tonight's show, and then we post that tomorrow, and we do that for just $2 a month. But that starts out our day. We have to pull out the video or the audio of this broadcast, go and prep that, get that ready, upload that, get the titling in, biographies and what the show is about. load all of that up, date it correctly, done. That goes through an FTP. That gets uploaded every single day. And that's part of it. And then we have to go pull off another set of audio, get that prepped and ready. That goes over onto another computer, and that gets uploaded into our video rendering software. That gets edited, prepped, and done and rendered. That comes back off, then goes over to YouTube. That gets uploaded. Then commercials have to get inserted onto that and all the legal stuff. That gets done. And, and then after all of that is done, then we have to go back, pull out the audio again, remove the commercials, re-edit all of that together. That gets uploaded to another FTP. That goes over to our website for the membership area. So all of that, and that takes 3 hours, 4 hours to pull off all of those uploads, all of those edits, and get everything together. So when I say, the membership section, or when I say the podcast, think about the effort that goes in every single day. And then I haven't even gotten to emails, and I haven't gotten to social media yet, or I haven't touched anything, or the show for tonight, or writing, or the news, and responding back and hitting other people, and then the amount of phone calls that come in, and the emails that have to get returned. All of that, it's a crazy, insane amount of work. But we do all of this for you. And that's when I say, go subscribe to the podcast. It lets me know that it's appreciated, the amount of work that goes into it. We do the podcast for people that can't listen to the show at night, right? They have to get up early and go to work the next day. So they get up, and I want to make sure that the first thing, boom, they've got the show, it's fresh, it's ready to go, and they can, plug in the app and get ready in their car, and they can listen. It's a lot of work, and we do that. And then there's the whole other group of people out there that only go to YouTube, and there's a lot. There are millions and millions of people all day long around the world that don't do anything but YouTube. They do it for their news. They do it for entertainment. They do it for their education, all of that, and they don't drift off of YouTube, and we get that. So we have to do that too as well. It's an immense amount of work. It's an immense amount of work, and I just don't know how we pull that off every single day, and certainly I'm doing it by myself now that Rita is in New York. Now, so there's that. So when I say these things, go to our membership section. The amount of work that goes into removing commercials and re-editing and saving and uploading and FTP and all of that goes over to Drew, and Drew indexes, and just to make sure that every day it's perfect, it's there. So please support all of that, our efforts in that. Go and become a member. Please consider that, or subscribe to the podcast, because it just lets us know that that it's appreciated, and that's what's most important. Okay, we put so much effort into it every single day, and then after all of that, after 8 hours of work, then we come over to the bunker and we do a live show for 3 hours, and then after the show is done, we have to work for another half hour, get everything done and then shut down. And then turn around, literally grab a few hours sleep, and get up and start it all over again. It's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy life, but somehow we pull it off. And what an amazing week we've had here on the show. I mean, I can't believe the week that we've had this week. It's just been unbelievable. All right, and don't forget to visit all of our sponsors. Life Change Tea and GetTheTea.com, and River Moon Coffee, New Pharma, Ancient Life Oil, Sacred Skulls, and New Mana Food Storage, and Bearing Optics. Okay, visit all of them, and they have the best products. We the members that we have here of our family that are our sponsors, they make the difference. Okay, and there's a reason why they are with us, and it's you. So go and support yourself and support the show and support our sponsors. It's how we manage to pull this off every single day. All right, and there's a reason why. I would love to have, 10 more sponsors, but it's the 10 right sponsors. And the other thing is we don't have commercial space to add anybody else. How great is that? And that's because of this audience. Think about that. All right, let's get this show cracking. Fadernight, Thursday night. Our dead guy's birthday today is Nostradamus, 1503 to 1566, died at the age of 62. Now, before you say anything, although countless have claimed that he has predicted major historical events, I kind of argue that his apparent accuracy is due to maybe poor translation or misinterpretation. But it's fun to read. It's fun to read. Happy birthday, Nostradamus. So, and this is the thing, we could probably go and pull out one of his pieces and translate it. And in there it says, Jimmy Church on Fade to Black on December 14th, 2017 will say happy birthday to me, Nostradamus. Right? Well, I just did. Happy birthday, Nostradamus. On this day in history, OTD, 1911. Norwegian Roald Amundsen becomes the first explorer to reach the South Pole, beating his British rival, Robert Falcon Scott. Sorry about that. Robert. Yeah, that's right. And you know what happened? He got there and he said, the earth is not flat. It's round. And also, probably bigger than that, I had to include it, probably bigger than discovering the South Pole in Antarctica. It happened in 1977. Because on this day in 1977, Saturday Night Fever gets its world premiere and changes the world. And my wardrobe. That's right. 1977. Man, that was a crazy year. Oh, man. Never saw anything quite sweep the world like that did in 1977. Fader fact. According to a 1967 United Nations treaty, nobody can own celestial bodies such as Mars and the moon. Now, the treaty is going to get overruled. They're going to have a new one. And Donald Trump is going to name the moon Trump. Just kidding. He would do it, though, wouldn't he? You can't call it the moon anymore, man. It's called Trump. And that's exactly why that treaty is in place. So things like that cannot happen. Could you imagine it being called the Target, Target stores, or pick something out. Pick something out. The Verizon moon. That's my big fear. Well, tonight's Fader Nights, Thursday night, and we have Jon Rappoport here with his No More Fake Newsroom Live. He's going to be here in a few short minutes. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 because we're going to have open lines all night long. Now, couple of things I need to talk about. One, not even effing funny. I know, right? Think about that. Yeah, it's not funny. It's not at all. Net neutrality was nixed today by a 3-2 vote by the FCC. Straight down party lines. No surprise there. 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and that's the fight that we've got going on in this world today. I don't know. Wall moon. Yeah, exactly. Verizon moon. Wall moon. And this is a big deal. Now, I started talking about net neutrality and the fear of this going down 3 years ago. And the combination of these FCC rules that were used, because the FCC, that's a different thing, and the net is something completely separate. And how do you do communications laws and combine those into the internet? It's two different things. But and that's not even what's important. What is important here is now, today, and this is where I get a little bit nervous. And now an internet service provider can block access to a website. They don't like it. They don't want to have you to have access to it. There's nothing stopping them from turning off that website now and blocking access. And some service providers will still have access to that. I'm talking about this could be isolated, could be now, and there's reasons why it's cool. I'll give you some reasons. An ISIS or terrorist website, right? They can block access to that immediately, and they don't have to worry about the law coming into place. And that, and that's part of the freedom of the internet that stuff was allowed to pass. There's that aspect, and which I get. But there could be something else. It could be a religious thing. It could be a political thing. It could be a rival thing. It could be a competition thing, right? Because maybe, and I'll give you an example, maybe somebody that owns, and I'll pick somebody out. It doesn't even matter, Comcast or just whoever is owning, whoever, Time Warner, Spectrum, whoever you are paying your bills to, and their competitor, another internet service provider, owns a website or a streaming service. Maybe they own Netflix, or maybe they own Hulu, right? Fandango. They own something else that's streaming out there. And they want to mess with that. They can. They can slow it down. They can stop it. Now, that's the part that kind of freaks me out. Now, we all know that today, if you want faster internet speeds, you just pay for it. You can have a basic service, or you can have a fast service. I get that part of it. Okay, that's simple. Okay, you can't own everybody can't own a Ferrari, so you own a used car, and you get what you pay for. I get that part of it. It's the other side of it that they can choke anything if they want to. And if you want your streaming service to be uninterrupted, you pay more. Or the streaming service turns around and pays that internet service provider behind the scene, and it's all supply and demand. They're saying, this will cause for innovation, and it will do that. Well, what does it do to somebody like me, right, or others out there that are using the internet to stream audio, to do a live radio broadcast, or maybe they want a Periscope, or they have a band that they want to broadcast live, and they can't, right? And now things are choked down, and people stop listening to or going to certain sites because there's not enough bandwidth out there, and it's not an even level playing field for everybody out there anymore. There's that part of it, and it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Now, they're saying don't worry about a thing. I don't like that. There's some times where a little bit of government regulation coming in helps things. Just like speed limits. There are reasons why you want something like this, because there are people out there that will take advantage of it. And not everybody is a nice guy or a nice girl. So it scares me. Net neutrality, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out. And if it does go foul, then somebody will run interference into the FCC. Somebody is going to get sued. Maybe the FCC will get sued if it gets out of control. And so far, and there are other countries around the world that regulate the internet. They completely, you don't have any, internet freedoms in China. Russia completely censors everything. They don't like it, they shut it down. And no matter what political, religious, anything, and they'll shut you down. So we enjoy those freedoms here. And part of that is a level playing field for everybody, that we can go out and jump and we can provide our stuff that we need to, and then everybody can have access to it. Okay, well, there's that. All right. Now, before I get out of here, I'm going to bring in Rappoport. I want to talk about something else really quick. And trolling comes up here often. And there has been, over the last month or so, a few different people out there, big names, some, not so big or whatever, that are complaining about freedom of speech on the internet. And now I'm here to tell you that the internet has allowed the expansion of thought, and people have been probably going out of their safety zone that they normally would stay inside of to say and act a certain way on the internet. Okay, they can hide, and their personalities are coming out. Okay, which is fine. Okay, if you own a website and you go and you open up a website and you got your own thing, you can say whatever you want. That's freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want in your zone, right? Maybe, if you own that. Okay, getting outside of that and going into somebody else's domain, like Twitter, for example, because Twitter is in front of you, it doesn't give you freedom of speech. You don't own Twitter. Somebody else does. And they have the right about what goes on there. Freedom of speech is you can go out in the front of your house on your lawn and yell and say whatever you want. That's freedom of speech. You can go down a town hall, public sidewalk, go out there. As long as you're not interrupting the flow of traffic or people walking, you can say whatever you want. Well, within, but you can say what, that's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is not going on to, for instance, somebody's YouTube channel and just posting whatever you want to say. That's not freedom of speech. If you have your own YouTube channel, possibly you can say whatever you want there within certain things. But you going onto somebody else's YouTube channel or Facebook or Twitter and going out there onto something that you don't own does not give you freedom of speech. It just doesn't. And you need to understand that. So if you want to say whatever you want on your Facebook page to the point where you don't get kicked off or you get kicked off of Facebook or go to Facebook jail, that's on you. But you don't have the right to go onto somebody else's Facebook page and just post away and say whatever you have no rights. That's not what freedom of speech is. And I've been seeing this pop up more and more, and I'm getting email about it. Hey, man, how come I can't say whatever? You can't. It's freedom of speech, man. No, it's not. Freedom of speech is whatever you are feeling like you need to say to me right now in this email, you go out in front of your house and just yell. That's freedom of speech, and you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. Posting in our world, you have no rights. You don't own Twitter. Twitter will let you get away with it as far as you push it, and then you're out. That's it. Well, man, freedom of speech. I was posting what I wanted to on Twitter, and they kicked me off. That's your fault. You don't own Twitter. Go start your own company. Call it doofus.com, and then go and post whatever you want there. Nobody's going to kick you out unless you kick yourself out. That's the way it is. You don't have any rights. That's not what freedom of speech is about. It just doesn't work that way. And it's just really strange how we've let these freedoms, what people think are freedom of speech and what the reality of the situation is, what freedom of speech really is. It's not that. You don't have any rights to go into somebody else's house and say whatever you want. It ain't that kind of party. And it never has been. That's not what freedom of speech is about. Behave. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back with Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom live. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Natural Health Solutions with Chris and Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Great, Chris.
Now, you're the CEO of GetTheTea.com, right?
Yes, I am.
What is GetTheTea.com? I mean, is this tea you buy in a store?
Well, no, it's not. Life Change Tea is just that. Life-changing. Life Change Tea is an herbal tea that gently cleanses your body from intruders.
What do you mean by intruders?
Well, intruders are toxins, chemicals, GMOs, heavy metals, and more. They're in our food, in our water, in our air we breathe.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
And Life Change Tea will help you with removing these, as you say, intruders?
That's right, Chris.
Are there side effects with this tea?
Well, you might lose a little weight. When you clean your colon, you lose weight, you feel better, and you have more energy.
Wow. Ronnie, where can people purchase Life Change Tea?
Oh, that's easy. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
Ronnie, I want to thank you for being on the show. People, don't forget, GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at KGRAradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. KGRAradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every single day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash, they all go down, and we see the light of day. A new day. No more robots, no more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Good to be here, folks. Good to be here. Happy holidays to everybody coming up. You know, conspiracies. Some people are more prone to believe in conspiracies if they're shrouded in great mystery. 50,000 years ago on a domed city on the planet Mars, a virus was developed and it somehow escaped and drifted through space and landed on Earth, etc., etc. And now it's reemerging. Yeah, tell me more about that. Because, of course, there's a mystery. People love mysteries. But the other thing is that people tend to believe that conspiracies are deeply buried, when in fact some of the biggest conspiracies are right out in the open. They're right there. A little thought and you see them. But then occurs a gigantic cognitive dissonance. You get the people who say, but that couldn't be true. Because if that were true, I mean, we would have heard about it by now, especially because it's right out there in the open, you claim. When, of course, that's not the case at all. So a conspiracy can be right out there, revealed in the open for anybody with a mind to see, and yet it's not being looked at from the right angle, and it's not being exposed. So I want to go over a few vaccine stories tonight. I've commented on one of these before, but I want to kind of frame it a little bit differently. And the other two are relatively recent. And they're right out there in the open, as you will see, as we go along. But you have to look at it and use your noggin a little bit, and then you see it. Not long ago, the FDA issued a statement that they were going to prosecute some company in California that was offering an unapproved treatment that, God knows why, consisted of stem cells plus the smallpox vaccine. I don't know what that means, but anyway, in the press release, the FDA mentioned, as an aside, that vaccine, the smallpox vaccine, was not to be given to people who had immune system problems. What does that mean? It means people who have weak immune systems from any cause, for any reason, not to be given the smallpox vaccine. Why? Because it could cause smallpox. That's why. And it even went further, this statement, and said that persons with weak immune systems could actually get smallpox from being around other people who got the smallpox vaccine. That's how serious this is. However, let us look at another historical fact, that between the years 1966 and 1980, that's 14 years, the World Health Organization embarked on the biggest vaccine campaign in history, smallpox vaccine in Africa, and delivered about 100 million shots of the smallpox vaccine. 100 million. Millions of those people had weak immune systems because a major part of that vaccination campaign was targeting the impoverished, the starving, the hungry, all of which conspire to produce weak immune systems. Just think about that. Let it sink in. On the one hand, don't give this vaccine to people that have weak immune systems. On the other, yeah, let's give it to 100 million people or so in Africa, millions of whom have weak immune systems. In 1980, the World Health Organization claimed they had wiped out smallpox on the continent. It was one of the great triumphs of modern medicine, great celebration. Well, I had a very reputable, reliable inside source who told me, a biologist off the record, that upon the termination of that vaccine campaign, there was a super secret meeting in Geneva, Switzerland of the World Health Organization. And at this meeting, it was decided that they would never, ever use the smallpox vaccine again. And I said, why did they decide that? And he said, because it caused cases of smallpox. How many? We don't know. Millions that emerged in a different form with different symptoms that were not then called smallpox. Perhaps they were called AIDS, for example. Now, there you go, if you want to look at a conspiracy. Right out in the open. Everything I've told you here, aside from my off-the-record source, is in the open source literature, in mainstream media. All you have to do is rub two facts together and see what you see. Talk about the size of the conspiracy. And if you want to add in an even more sinister element, consider the fact that the World Health Organization and the chief honchos and many doctors who were involved knew full well that the smallpox vaccine should not be given to people whose immune systems are compromised. This is not an esoteric fact. This is right out in the open. But they did it anyway. In fact, some of you may remember that in 2001 in the United States, one of President Bush's cabinet members, Tommy Thompson, who was the head of Department of Health and Human Services, told America that there was a real danger of a terrorist attack using smallpox virus, and therefore centers, vaccination centers, would be set up across the United States. And Tommy Thompson's famous quote was, "There is a vial of smallpox vaccine with every American's name on it." And George W. Bush, president, was shown on television getting the smallpox vaccination. That's how widely promoted this was. And then, several months later, mainstream doctors and medical experts began talking to the press and telling them that this was a very bad idea. Why? The same reason that I just cited. People with weak immune systems could get smallpox. And the stories built in the press. And then about a year after Tommy Thompson made the original announcement, he said, "I am not recommending that the president's cabinet members get this vaccine." And that was the end of that. The massive number of centers for vaccination across the United States did not materialize. People were not getting vaccinated. And the U.S. government called the whole thing off. And it just died with a whimper. And virtually no one in the mainstream press questioned what in the world had happened and why the initial announcement had been made that everybody had to get the vaccine and why it was canceled. No one really dug into the story. Right out in the open. Everything is right there for you to see. conspiracies are not always locked behind closed doors. And as much as you may want to explore the ones that are because you think they're much more interesting, keep in mind that quite often the very biggest ones are right there out in the open. For example, we have a current story now occurring in the Philippines where a mass vaccine campaign against dengue fever was launched. Sanofi is the manufacturer. Thousands of children had already been vaccinated in the campaign against dengue fever. And all of a sudden, government officials, federal officials down there, began getting up on their hind legs and saying, this is horrible, we have to stop this. Why? Two reasons. One, Sanofi itself had said that the vaccine might cause dengue fever in children who had not already come in contact with the dengue virus. More on that in a minute. In other words, the manufacturer itself had admitted that the vaccine could be highly dangerous. Right out in the open. And to boot, medical experts for the government had warned the government not to launch that vaccination campaign because the safety and efficacy of the vaccine had not been proven. They stopped that vaccination campaign in the Philippines. And now there is some talk of the government suing Sanofi, the manufacturer, and all kinds of stuff is blowing out into the open. Right out there in the open. Now, what was Sanofi saying when they said that a child could get dengue fever if he hadn't already been exposed or come in contact with the dengue virus? This requires a bit of reasoning and thought, so follow me please on this. Sanofi was saying that if a child naturally in the wild, so to speak, had contacted the dengue virus, which causes dengue fever, without having ever gotten a vaccine, the child's own immune system would produce antibodies and mount an immune response, and after that the child would be protected. Then if the child received the vaccine, the dengue virus in the vaccine would not cause him to get dengue fever because he already had antibodies, because he was already immune, because only the children who were already immune to dengue fever could safely receive the vaccine, which of course then they wouldn't need at all because they were already immune. Whereas the children who had not come in contact in the wild with the dengue virus should not receive the vaccine because the vaccine and the virus in the vaccine could cause them to get dengue fever. That is a perfect definition of sheer insanity, if you follow my drift. Yeah, if you're already immune to dengue fever naturally, then it's perfectly okay to get the vaccine, which you don't need because you're already immune. But if you're not already immune, you shouldn't get the vaccine, which is supposed to protect you from dengue fever, because the vaccine could give you dengue fever. What kind of a vaccine are we talking about there? And finally, the mainstream press is covering this story as well. Experts are saying that this year's flu vaccine may only, it's universally acknowledged that it has very low effectiveness. That's even assuming you believe in the theory of how vaccines work. Very low effectiveness, perhaps as low as 10% effective, which is ludicrous, ridiculous this year. Why? Well, you see, the flu vaccine is manufactured in chicken eggs. And when they put the flu virus into the chicken eggs, it mutates. And therefore, the virus that you're getting when you get the flu shot is not the virus that is causing the flu this season, because it's mutated. Get it? And that's why it's only 10% effective this year. This year. So I did a little bit of digging to discover, well, how long have they been using chicken eggs to produce vaccines? And I found an authoritative source for that. And the answer turns out to be 70 years. But of course, the press is framing the story on the extremely low effectiveness of the flu vaccine to cover only this year. As if this year is an exception, you see, because they're using chicken eggs to make the vaccine. No, they've been using chicken eggs for 70 years. So therefore, the whole business about low effectiveness would apply to 70 years, because when you put the virus into the chicken eggs, it mutates and becomes something else other than what you want it to be in order to produce immunity to the thing you want people to be immune to. Right out there in the open, folks. And yet, of course, even admitting the ridiculously low effectiveness of the flu vaccine, all the press articles in the mainstream say, of course, people should get the vaccine anyway. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This is what I mean when I say some of the biggest conspiracies are right out there in the open. And I have to say that in all the years of covering deep medical fraud, which really goes back to 1987, so that's 30 years, the biggest conspiracies that I have found are right there for anybody to see if they want to look. And if they believe what their eyes tell them and don't shrink away from what they see because they say, but that couldn't be true, because if that were true, then I mean, whew, wow, no. I would have heard about it before. People would have alerted me. Everybody would know. No, they wouldn't, because they don't see. And finally, just as proof of that, on a story that I've covered here before, it's well known that of the so-called 300 separate and distinct mental disorders that are listed in the official Bible of the American Psychiatric Association, by name, by label, 300. There is no defining physical test for any of them, not a single one. No blood test, No urine test, no hair test, no saliva test, no brain scan, no genetic assay, no defining test of any kind. I've documented this up one side and down the other many times, with open admissions from leading psychiatrists. It's right out there in the open. And if there is no test, then how do they make the diagnosis? How do they know that this particular mental disorder, whatever it may be, actually exists? That it isn't just a collection of behaviors that a committee of psychiatrists sitting around cook up in order to have a label, in order to let pharmaceutical companies manufacture drugs to treat the label. How do we know? We don't. There is no evidence. There is no scientific evidence. No defining test. You can go yourself, satisfy yourself. Get a copy of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Grit your teeth and read through the entire thing, and you find me one defining now, physical test that establishes a diagnosis of any of the 300 mental disorders. It's not there. So, a scandal? A conspiracy to defraud the public? It's right out there in the open. It's not on the planet Mars inside a domed city from 50,000 years ago. It's right out in the open. And I'll close by saying that frequently they want it to be right out there in the open because that's the easiest way to sell it. That may sound paradoxical, but it works. The psychiatrist says, well, of course there's no laboratory tests for any of these disorders. Of course not. But you see, we're doing a different kind of science. It's not the same kind of science as, falling objects or predicting the orbits of planets or any of that. Psychiatry has its own type of science. And 99% of the people salute that and walk away. It's right out in the open. He's lying through his teeth. But it's easier and better to concoct and sell the conspiracy if it's lying right there on a table that anybody can pick up and look at it. Quite often that's the case. And that's my report for tonight. Thank you very much.
Jon, amazing. And we're right up against a commercial break. So really quick, when was the last time you got a flu vaccine?
Never.
When was the last time you got the flu? Exactly. Exactly.
Case closed.
Exactly. I've got to say this really quick. So a friend of mine posted the other day, and she said, I wasn't sick. I just got a flu shot yesterday. Today, I couldn't go into work. I am dying. I have the flu. I cannot believe how sick I am. Does anybody know how many days this is going to last? And that's exactly, it's just like, oh, man, here you go. Jon, thank you so much, my friend, and I'm glad that you got to take a week off. But, vacation time, fun is over. We'll see you next Thursday.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jon. Jon Rappoport, everybody. Start your day, as I do, over at nomorefakenews.com. It is the premier. This is the thing. He said no more fake news 20 years ago. That's how smart Jon Rappoport is. All right, opening up the phone lines, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. It's Fadernight, people. Let's do this. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas. Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
You're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
We're of
the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly ancient life oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go Beckley Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. It's Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. If you're on hold, stay right there. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All right, let's go to the 825 Bank first. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Nathan in Ohio.
Hey, Nathan. What's cracking, man?
Well, the first thing I wanted to say was I wanted to thank you for allowing a platform for people like me who have experiences to come forward and share them. I know that you enjoy that, but it's also very cool of you because it's almost like therapy you can't get anywhere else.
Sure.
What I wanted to share with you was the first abduction I ever had.
Okay.
When I was about 5. This was just before I moved from Colorado to Illinois, and I was in bed, and I opened my eyes because I heard a strange buzzing noise in my room, and there was this short, stocky blue being in a robe and a hood, much like is depicted in the Communion movie. And there's two of them, actually, standing up against the wall, leaning back against the wall, away from my bed. And I couldn't move, but one of them, one walked to the front of my bed and the other one walked to the right of my bed and took out this thing that I call a wand, which he used to, I guess he zapped me with it. I felt this buzzing run through my whole body. The thing looked almost like a toy. It was white, and it had almost a plastic look to it, and it gave off lights and stuff. And when he zapped me with it, I felt it buzz through my whole body. And I think that's what he used to allow him to lift me off the bed. And they both ushered me over to the window, and I felt myself pass through the window, which was closed. And then the next thing I remember, I'm on a slab or on a table, and I'm looking up. I see two stereotypical gray beings, and they're quickly moving around the ship, I guess is what it was. And they had this thing above me that was on a tether or something, and they pulled it down, and there was a large needle on the end of it, and this thing pulled it down until it came right above my eye, and I thought he was going to jam this thing in my eye, and instead he moved it a little over to the right, and he stuck it in my arm, and I remember thinking to myself, what is this thing doing to me? And it said, I am filling you with sin.
I'm filling you with sin.
Yes.
Okay. What happened next?
The next thing that happened is I was able to look over to my left, and these images started to appear in front of me, like a yellow brick road, and it was like somebody had drawn it. It didn't look real. If I had seen virtual reality before, I probably would have thought of it as virtual reality, but it even looks more artificial than that. It looked like hand-drawn. And the next thing I know, I'm walking down this yellow brick road, and I encounter a mantis being for the first time on this road. And the next thing I know, I'm awake, and I'm in my room, and I don't know what happened. I thought it was a nightmare for the longest time, but as I've gotten older and had more experience, obviously it wasn't.
Did when you were on the road, you encountered this mantis being. What else did you see on the road? Were there plants, trees?
There were trees, and it was very dark. And there seemed to be beings hovering in the air.
Huh.
But I couldn't make them out. They were like dark shadow beings, but they were zipping around and flying around. I don't know if this was a hallucination, right, or if it was like a virtual reality simulation, or if it was an astral projection or something like that.
Very interesting. A lot of symbolism there too, as well. It also, and again, I want to thank you for sharing that with us. It also reminds me a little bit, not much, but a little bit of what happened to Betty Andreessen, which I was talking about this last night, strangely enough. And you should read her book if you haven't, called The Andreessen Affair. And read that, because she talks about walking on this road, this path too, as well. But it was, well, anyway, I don't want to get into that. But you should read that. It's pretty interesting too, as well. I'm just wondering if you had the same experience, maybe the same beings in the abduction. Very, very interesting. You should go get that book and read it. I highly suggest it. I think everybody should read Betty's book. But again, thank you for sharing that with us, Nathan. And anybody out there that has had something similar, I would like to hear from you. Thank you so much, Nathan, and behave.
Thanks, Jimmy. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, Nathan. Thank you so much. Very interesting, and it is very. It's not exact, but and Betty's experience, which was recounted under hypnosis, but hers is very, 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 very detailed. So, okay, with that, let's go to the 275. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're not there. Who's calling? Okay.
It's Bruce with Austin, Texas.
Okay, you've got a bad connection, Bruce. You're going to have to call back. Okay, let's try that again a little bit later. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Bev.
Hey, Bev, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, it's good to hear your voice, man. Is everything good?
Yep. My right eye's all done.
You got the operation?
Yes. Oh, yes, I did.
And so what's going on?
Well, I can see much better on my right eye. I have to go back to 26th, day after Christmas, and get my left eye done.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, so listen, when you close your bad eye and you're looking out your good eye, which I know you're doing all the time, right?
Yeah.
Right? What does Bob look like? Are you going to ask for a divorce now?
Nah, I'm used to his looks after all these years.
The truth comes out. You're going to stick with him. That's
yeah. I mean, I'm too old to train anybody else now.
Now, again, Bev, it's so good to hear your voice. I'm glad that you got the operation and you're going to go back. Now, when do you go back for, which eye was done, your right or your left?
My right.
Your right. So you're going to go back when for your left eye?
The 26th.
The day after Christmas. What kind of Christmas are you having this year? That's amazing.
Yeah, well, I had my right eye done on our anniversary.
Wow, man. Now, after the operation, Bev, how long did it take before you could see out of it?
Well, I had it done at, I think, about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I could take my patch off at 5. I could see perfectly out of it.
Really?
I was like, oh, my God, Bob, I can actually see things now. But I'm still going to have glasses because I'm nearsighted.
Who cares about that? Who cares about that?
That's right. I don't care about that. I can see.
Oh, man. I'm getting all choked up, Bev. I cannot wait. I cannot wait till next week. And let's see, the week after. Okay, I'm trying to think of dates here. Today is the 14th. So you're going to have it in 12 days.
Yeah.
Christmas, so 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Christmas is on a Monday, which we're taking off. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, yeah, that's perfect. So that Fadernight, you'll be able to call in right before New Year's. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
I was so nervous about it because it's like something coming at my eye, and I figured they put me completely out. But they put me in what they call a twilight stage.
Right. I bet you that's fun, though. That's fun.
Yeah, because I could see him doing everything.
Oh, that is such a trip. I'm so happy for you. So you guys, you got all of the money that we collected for you. There was no problems with that, right?
No, there wasn't. And once again, thank you, everybody.
Oh man, it's such a pleasure and an honor to be able to do that for you guys and all the Fadernauts and everybody that lined up. You know what's so funny about that is we just tried to get the 350 together, right?
Yeah, that's all we wanted.
And the next thing you know, that was so much fun, and just thank you so much. Now, I'm going to let you go for now. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Okay.
And have a great weekend, and the next thing you know, you're going to get the other eye done. Okay, so in the meantime, and just enjoy yourself and buy something really nice for Bob for Christmas. He deserves it.
After everything I put him through.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Bev.
Well, thank you, Jimmy, and I love you.
I love you right back, and you know that.
Okay.
Thank you, Bev.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How cool is that? She got the operation. I was so concerned about that because, everything went down. We got the money. We did everything on our end. But, it's just, were they able to get it together and make, because it's a technical world that we live in. But they got the money. She got the operation. She's going to go back, get the second eye done. She can already see out of one. The Fadernauts are the best. Think about that. You guys did that for Bev and Bob. Wow. That's just getting all choked up. That is just so cool. All right. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yo, Jimmy, what's cracking?
Jordan.
Hello.
Jordan.
Hello.
Hey,
Jimmy.
Don't mess with me, man. Are you there?
I think we got two lines. Yeah, I think we got two lines going because I hear Bruce in the background.
Okay, yeah, he might be on hold on the other line. It's just you, man. It's just you. What's going on?
Okay. Hello. Oh, man, we're about to go see Star Wars.
Oh, right now? Now, I've got mixed reviews, man. I'm kind of bummed about this.
Really? I haven't heard anything about it yet, but I'm pretty pumped.
Well, look, this is what I have heard, and look, for me, it's the best part about it, that the action is nonstop. The special effects are top notch. All of that is great. So there you go. All right. So the reviews. See, this is the thing. Everybody wants Star Wars to get better and better and better. How do you get better? You know what I mean? Especially,
yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, they all can't be the greatest movie ever made. They just can't.
Yeah, seriously. I heard it's supposed to be a lot like Empire Strikes Back.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. And The Force Awakens, that was the last one, right? The Force Awakens.
Yeah, right.
That was so good. It was
man, wasn't it?
And I still go back to the first three, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and of course, Star Wars, the first one, whatever they're calling
the OG series.
Yeah,
the original series.
Those are still the best, man, and there's reasons for that.
Which one's your favorite, though?
The first one, the Orig. The Orig is still, still the best. But Empire Strikes Back was so good. There was parts of that movie that I just thought it cannot get better than this, right? So,
and it was like the darkest of the Star Wars movies.
It was dark,
most heavy metal Star Wars.
Yeah. There's no question about it. But I really enjoyed now the Clone Wars, and I think it got too, for me, the special effects and the audio and the way that they were doing stuff was taking away from the story itself. The script just was not solid, and they were depending on and the special effects were great, man. Some of the ships and the thing, but I didn't care about any of that. All of that stuff matters if you've got a story. And you look at Force Awakens. Force Awakens had a script, it had a story, you were emotionally connected, and then you got the sprinkles on top, which was the amazing special effects, and the battle scenes in that were just incredible. I love The Force Awakens. I thought that was right on par with the OG stuff.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams did a really good job with that, directing it and whatnot. It felt really like Episode 4, New Hope.
Right.
It was like almost exactly like that, but not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was with whole different characters, but still the OG characters. You know what I mean?
Right. And A New Hope was okay too as well. But JJ doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't. Who's the director on this one? JJ didn't do this one. He's coming back for the next one.
Rian Johnson.
Yeah,
is the
Rian
director.
Johnson. So we'll see.
Did you hear that Did you hear he's doing his own trilogy now too?
Yep. Just got they inked the deal on that. So next week when we come back, definitely call in and give us your review. I trust you.
Yeah, dude. I will for sure.
All right, man. Go have fun tonight. Hey, Ed.
Well, wait. I had something to tell you real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
So I was listening to one of your shows with Dr. Goldberg, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about fifth dimensional dreaming.
Right.
And I was sitting there and I was thinking, and I was like, I thought about this theory for a long time, and I was like, is that really a thing? Like, I didn't realize that it had an actual name. So I went and looked on it, and I read some Reddit thread, and then they mentioned Goldberg a lot. And then I was like, what? And then I was sitting there and thinking, and I was like, I was thinking about all the reoccurring dreams that I have. And then I just realized, I was like, I have this reoccurring dream where me and my ex-girlfriend live in the same house, and like Ethan, who you talked to the other day,
right.
We all live in the same house, and we always like have parties and stuff, and like we're like a big band and stuff, which is weird, and it feels super real. But I decided to ask my ex-girlfriend about it, which was kind of awkward, but I asked her about it anyway, just to do the research of it, and she went on to explain I have. And we had no idea that we had the same dream. We haven't talked in months, but we have the same dream about once a month.
Wow. That's weird, man.
Yeah, around the same time. And it blew my mind. I was like, I can't believe this. This is nuts.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And creepy at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like, it's so weird. Like, I don't even know what to think about it.
Wow. Who broke up with who?
She broke up with me.
She dumped you. And so now you get the satisfaction of knowing that you are still in her dreams every night.
Yeah, pretty much.
So enjoy that part. Hey, go have fun at the movie.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, go have fun at the movie, Jordan, and give us your review next week.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah, it was good talking to you.
I'll talk to you, Jordan.
Alrighty then.
You got it. That's Jordan Macaroni, everybody. Jordan Macaroni coming in. All right, got time to go back here. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Is this Bruce?
It's Bruce.
Okay, now we got you, Bruce.
Hey, that's several times that I've crossed up with callers at the same time.
Well, everybody...
I never know which one you're talking to.
Yeah, neither do I, but that's what's most important. Okay.
Well, hey, let's talk about the internet.
Okay, real quick, what's on your mind?
I like what you had to say about it. You know, that's something people need to realize is somebody with a show like yourself can get, this can do a lot of damage to you.
It
if
could
they want to shut you down.
There is a possibility of that, but this is the thing. Let's not mess around here. This was not voted on by the public. This was decided by the FCC. And so they 5 votes were cast. 3 Republican, 2 Democrat. It was voted down party lines. And so this was forced through by the administration. And I don't care what their reasons are for doing it. Okay? I don't care. if this was voted on by the citizens of the United States, it wouldn't pass. I agree. It would not happen. So I think this is my take. It's going to be overturned, overruled very, very quickly. There's going to be some lawsuits coming on. This is going to get ugly. Somebody out there is going to have their website blocked. There's going to be some lawsuit that's going to be brought up, and it's going to go straight at the FCC. And this is going to get overturned. This kind of control cannot be allowed. It cannot be.
I agree.
The
problem is you've got so many people that are uninformed. You know, it may or may not. You know, if it went to a popular vote, generally, I don't know that they would get overturned.
Well, and the problem with this is now the private sector is able to do whatever they want without consequences.
That's right.
That's a bad power play, man. That's a bad power play. So, you know, being able to block websites and not have anybody, you know, nothing, no oversight. You know, you just can't let kids play like that. Kids are going to go out and break the rules, and they're going to. It's going to be bad. You know, so I think it's going to fix itself. And nothing fixes something like money. And you hit one of these companies in the pocketbook, it's going to be bad. You go straight at the FCC, some crazy, lawsuit that'll just come out. It's going to get overturned. It has to. There's no way that it can continue. It's an impossibility. The only reason why it did is because it was held to a vote of 5 people at the FCC, and that's the reason why. So
they're trying every way in the world to stuff the genie back in the bottle. Well, and all of us having access. Go ahead.
No, but that's exactly the point. You know, you go and you give freedom to voices, you know, and creativity, music, and artwork, and you know, comedy and video and things that people are out there doing, you know, and you give them that and you give them a voice. And why is all of this creativity happening? Because we have the ability to do it. And you turn around and you clamp down on that, it's going to get ugly, man. It's going to get ugly. Hey, Bruce, I got to head to a commercial, man. Thank you for calling in.
Well, listen, here's one quick point. My life changed as a result of your show and Jim Mars. And I only discovered y'all because of the internet being the way that it is.
That's exactly right.
You know, my life changed for the better.
That's exactly right.
And I think a lot of other people's have also.
Yeah, and and you have to also think about it in these terms. Again, thank you, Bruce, for calling in. But in these terms, the vast amount of internet traffic out there. Sure, Netflix and other streaming services occupy a big chunk of that bandwidth, but shows like this, which are out there by the thousands, takes away from their revenue. You know, so they want to just try to steer. You know, they don't want us to have a voice. It ain't going to be that kind of party. It's not. It's going to end. Hey, Bruce, thank you, my friend. Have a great weekend.
All right. You too.
That's Bruce absolutely. Bruce from Austin. This is Fade to Black. Open lines all night long. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. More of your calls next. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously. Go Beckley Tappy.
Do you worry a lot? Whether you're a college student, busy professional, parent, or grandparent, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in 1 to 2 weeks. Call 1-800-758-8746 or calmandclever.com.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Cindy. How are you?
Hey, Cindy. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing really good. Really good. I want to talk about Big Pharma tonight. I was listening to John and what he had to say, especially about the psycho drugs. You know, years ago when I was married, we went to marriage counseling. And wouldn't you know it, the second visit, I had been diagnosed that I was depressed. I've always been depressed, and I will always be depressed. And so they put me on, I don't know, one of those drugs that you take forever and ever, amen, and nothing worked. And now I was depressed at the time, but the medication never brought me out of it. And so they put me on another one, and they put me on another one, and oh my gosh, I was spending so much money, and you had to pay to go to the psychiatrist. Other than the psychologist I was seeing, at once a week. So that was another $65 on top of that, blah, blah, blah. All this money spent, and none of it worked.
Right.
And they were going to put me on one more. And I looked at them, I said, I'll try this one, but you got to give me something that's going to work right now because I can't take feeling like this anymore. So what ends up happening is that particular medication, I had a horrible reaction, and I can see why some people would murder somebody, or cause bodily harm because I was in a horrible state. But so I quit taking it, didn't take any more of any of that stuff. It was like Valium. What is it that they prescribe now? But anyway, it was like Valium. I had a month's worth of those. Once I finished taking those, I was fine. Came out of my depression. I just needed a break for a little while. And, so I was diagnosed with this disease, supposedly, that I've had all these years and I'm going to have forever and ever again. And it just wasn't true. It wasn't true at all. So they're making a killing out there on people's false depression. It's amazing.
Yes. And the other scary part about it is for me is what they do with children.
Yes.
And so you've got a kid. Now, I'm not saying that there may not be some issues that need to be addressed, but they so quickly go, okay, you know what, Ritalin or whatever it is. And you've got these kids that are dosed up, all day long, and they have, I don't know, and I, as many issues as I had growing up, or even as an adult, I never took, I never went to a psychiatrist or was, on any of these drugs. So I don't know what they do to your head. But I can just imagine, it's probably not much different than if you were in a mental hospital and what they are giving you there, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? But you see these patients, with a drool cup, in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? These horrific things and these scenes.
And the thing is, I went there for marriage counseling.
Right. Yes.
Oh,
here
comes a couple, and they put him on Adderall.
Right. If listen, if you're on hold right now, you need to be quiet. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, there you go.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's one other thing that I haven't told. Well, I've talked to Fran about it, but I have good news. So don't go to a bad space when I tell you. I was diagnosed 3 months ago. 3.5 months ago, with stage 3 cancer. Wow. I'm going to get emotional here. Now, I haven't done any big pharma stuff at all. And I just got some test results back, which you can send off and get yourself for under $60.
Right.
I am now in a high stage 1.
And what did you do?
Oh my gosh, I've done all kinds of stuff, but basically keeping your system alkaline, high alkalinity.
Right.
So I test that twice a day, and I tell you something that gets you so quickly into an alkaline state is to take a teaspoon of baking soda, stir it in some water, take it like a shot, and your body will be alkaline within the hour.
Is that right?
But, of course, eating right. Yeah. Well, I saw something on, somebody shared something on Facebook a few years back after a friend of mine died of cancer. And this guy brought himself back from stage 4 bone cancer with baking soda. But there's all kinds of things that I do. I take like 8,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, and there's quite a few things I do. I make my own live probiotics, and I eat clean, and I've changed my life, and I'm in a place where there's no stress, no expectations. Really
that
nice
is
man.
Right. That's a big deal, right there. The no stress part. But what about CBDs? Have you been taking that?
Oh yes. Well, you know where I was last year, right?
Yes.
In Northern California.
Right.
Okay. Well, all that nice stuff that comes off of the plant onto your fingers. I kept all that stuff, and so yes, I take a little nibble every day, but I don't like the side effects from it. But yes, I do take that every day. I take hemp seed oil every day, and all kinds of vitamins and stuff. But yeah, I couldn't believe it when I opened the email. I got it last Friday, and I was just like, "Am I reading this right?" I'm on cloud nine.
That is great news, and I just can't say any more than that. And CBDs, see, that's the thing. All of these, like baking soda or keeping the acids in your body balanced in a no stress environment and eating right, probiotics. The Big Pharma doesn't want you to talk about this, and they don't. They really, 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 really don't. They would much rather have you, pay them, and stay on some kind of 3-4 pill a day regimen for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life,
that's
exactly.
That's it. That's where it's at. And I'm not saying there isn't a need for that. Look, if you have, this is no joke, right? You get an abscessed tooth, and you don't go and see a doctor and get the right antibiotics. You're gonna you're gonna
There's
die.
something you can take for that.
Well,
you can take garlic. Get rid of that instead of antibiotics.
Maybe
I've done it. I've done it.
Again, maybe. But my point is, there is a reason to go see a doctor. There is where.
Oh yeah. Well, I went to a doctor when I broke my wrist.
That's right.
I went and had it operated on.
So and I forget who it was, but I'll remember it. Let me continue the story. Okay, so a couple of it's a rich family. Okay, rich, like billionaire kind of thing, or back in the 30s, and so the three kids are out doing their thing. Like one's in France, and one is here in Los Angeles, and one is whatever, and they're out doing their things around the world. One of them, and they're dad dies, the inheritance comes in. And there was lost control of one of the companies. I don't want to get into specifics here, but one of the kids goes to like Cuba, right, on a vacation. Gets a toothache, ignores it, comes to Los Angeles, and dies 3 weeks later of an infection. From the tooth. Ooh. Now, and if you go back throughout history, thousands of years, where how many people died tragically young, 15, 20 years old, from those types of infections that, and we didn't know much about medicine, and your life expectancy was just so short. Because, strep throat, whatever it could be, that you had no choice of, and that infection takes over your body and you're done. So,
but Jimmy, they had other things besides antibiotics back then. People weren't dying from stuff like that.
Oh, they were dying.
Think about it.
Oh, maybe.
Think about it. They don't want us to know about it.
Yeah, that could be.
Because I have gotten rid of them. I've gotten rid of. They gave me antibiotics one time. I had this a bad infection. They gave me antibiotics. The antibiotics didn't get rid of it all, and they were going to have me come in and do pay for another doctor's visit when all I needed was more antibiotics. And I'm like, wait a minute, I know garlic can get rid of this. And sure enough, I took garlic that whole day, garlic capsules. That whole day, like 2 every couple of hours. The next day, I didn't have it at all. It was all symptoms were gone.
Well, I had strep
there's
throat.
Lots of stuff. So,
I got strep throat in Los Angeles. I was down in San Diego on a company thing, and I felt a little funky, right? And I had to fly that night out of San Diego with a coworker. We had to go to Miami. And on a business trip. So I get on the plane, and I'm flying red eye. and we land in Miami. By the time we landed in Miami, I was done. I was toast. I was very, 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 very sick. And I said, dude, I got to go to the hospital. So we go to the hospital, and the doctor took one look at me, took some blood, looked at my throat, and comes in and says, man, you're hours away from a really, really, really bad situation. Rolled me over, gave me a shot in my ass, right? Which I immediately, like minutes later, I could taste it. This metallic taste. It went straight to me.
That's a lot.
Right. So anyway, whatever he gave me was the megadose. And then, and he said, look, this is the strongest antibiotics I can give you. So I gave some of it in a shot. Now you need to take these pills and double up on these overnight tonight because this is a bad situation. And they let me go. And we had to drive from Miami to Tampa and Alligator Highway, whatever they call that. And so we're driving, and I left the hospital. I was just feeling so bad. About an hour later, my temperature and everything, it just all ended. And I was pounding these antibiotics. Now, by the time we got to Tampa, which was a few hours later, I felt amazing. But I went from a bad temperature and a bad infection to being spot on the money very quickly. And I'm telling you right now, Cindy, I hear you, but I would not have risk taking garlic at that moment. At that point. No. I'm telling you, I was so close to death. Hey, listen, I got to get to some other calls. Thank you. I'm so glad with those test results. And
thank you. And it's so good to hear how Deb turned out. That's great.
Can you believe that? Fadernights are the best.
I do.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Great phone call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Chase from Salem.
Hey, Chase from Salem. How are you?
So I was calling about a follow-up on that sighting that I had back in July.
Yeah, yeah, follow up. Remind us and then follow up. How's that?
Okay, so I fight fires in the summer, and we were down in Medford area at our dispatch. And me and a friend of mine, John, who had called in as well, I believe the date was July 14th or 13th. It was a Thursday when I called in, and that was the day after. So this would have been the day before that. So the 12th or 13th. So we had a sighting at the dispatch, and it was pretty crazy. We had some orbs, we had a few UFOs, and we had something that I believe landed or was like walking around in the parking lot there.
I remember all of this, and your coworkers were with you.
Yeah, well, John was.
Yeah,
everybody else was inside sleep.
Right.
But John had also seen the lights of Canada, and he had told about that. But so a couple days later, so I get home. I didn't really notice anything when I got home the first night. One of my other coworkers from fires was over at my house, and we were in my back room, the hangout room, and it has a chalkboard in it from the previous owners. And there was some odd pictures on the chalkboard. There was a face. I actually sent you the photos through the Fade to Black Facebook page, so they should be on your message.
Right.
If you look at them, there's a being in the photos, and it's a negative from the dirt and chalk that was on the board.
Okay, I'm looking.
It was cleaned off in some odd way, and I have no idea how it got there.
Okay, I'm looking here. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's complete. Nose, mouth, eyes. That's pretty creepy. And almost looks, okay, I'm going to squint my eyes a little bit. Almost looks like there's horns.
There's something. I mean, it almost kind of looks reptilian.
Reptilian. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Dude, that's freaky.
I know. And we were tripping out about it because I had somebody watching my house while I was gone, and I called him like 15 times while he was at work till he picked up to ask him whether he had somebody over that was drawing on my board.
Oh, this is cool.
And he was like, "What are you talking about? I have no idea like what you're talking about." And I had him come over and look at it, and he was like, "Dude, I don't know where this came from."
Well, I'm going to see. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, I saved one of them. All right, I'm not going to modify this or do anything to it. I'm going to pop this up on Twitter right now. Everybody's got to see this. Okay.
You can't see it in the images, but there was more to it. Intertwined with the head, there was a back, all the way down to the buttocks and all the way up to the neck. The neck actually reached the top of the board, and it was a fairly long neck. It probably, I don't know, 10 inches or so. I want to say 8 to 10. Fairly thin compared to what the face structure looked like. But I mean, I assume that they weren't proportionate, considering the head was a lot larger than what the body was, because the body was the same size as the head in the image on the blackboard. But there was a complete back and shoulder and with the neck, and it was intertwined in the face. I was trying to catch it, but I couldn't.
Wow, it
was really odd, yeah.
This is a creepy. Now, how big is this?
It
looks like it's about a foot tall, but I can't really tell.
No, it's larger than that. It's like that image is probably almost 3 feet tall.
Wow.
And like 2.5 feet across.
Wow, this is cool, man. This is cool. I posted. Oh, I see. Now I'm looking at the chalkboard. Yeah. Okay, there's another shot of it with the chalkboard where you can see the size of the chalkboard. You can see the pieces of chalk on the bottom of the chalkboard.
Yeah.
So it puts it in. Okay, so yeah, maybe 2 feet tall. Wow, that is really, really cool. What do your coworkers think of this?
My buddy, after we kind of like looked at this and looked at the other images that are at the bottom of the chalkboard, and like there's some really intricate things that are in that. I mean, there's in the very bottom left corner, there's an upside down face that is underneath that like creature that's like praying at it. It's weird.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see that.
No, I'm still tripping on this one. I'm looking at the other. Wow, that's really cool. Chase, well done, my friend. Well done. So have they come back?
I haven't initiated anything since, but I did have one other thing happen to me while I was on fires this year.
What happened?
We were up towards Brightonbush over Detroit area, and I saw big footprints.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Me and my coworkers were digging some line and cutting some brush and making sure a fire didn't come over this canyon. And we were done with our assignment, so we had stationed so that we could watch the green and make sure the fire didn't spread.
Right.
Well, we were walking that line. It's probably about a half mile to 3/4 of a mile, and my coworker, one of my squad bosses, looked down on the ground and he said, "Hey, look, a big footprint." And my instant reaction was, "Yeah, right." And I looked down and there's this print that's about, I want to say like a size 28.
Oh, huge.
And it's probably almost 6 inches wide. And it was in this muddy dust spot where it had dried out, and it was probably about an inch deep.
Did you take pictures?
I had neglected to take a photo. I know. So we came back, and at the end of the day, I was like, all right, well, I missed my chance for the photo, but we're going to come back tomorrow.
Right.
You know, we're going to be in the same spot. I'll get one then. And that was like the only spot of dirt that was really like muddy and mucky, and that had dried up right in there. And all the rest of it was pretty much covered with foliage and grasses and whatnot. And that particular spot the day after had been turned up.
Now, see, this is there's two things that are going on here. Number one, had you been the one that spotted the Bigfoot print, then your coworkers, Chase is weird, right? But the Bigfoot print wasn't found by you. So now you guys are like the paranormal, supernatural fire crew.
Well, see, now here's the thing, is that, like, there was the one, right, and that was a real thick one. I decided that I was going to find more. I mean, it's a fairly straight line up this road, and in the grassy area, it's still kind of mucky. You could maybe get a print that was in there. Well, it turns out that we found 2 sets that walked this entire road. They were very, very faint. They weren't real deep. They were real shallow, probably an 1/8 inch, maybe a little bit deeper. So we couldn't really get a real good picture. We got a couple of photos of like the toe prints actually like breaking twigs and stuff as they had crouched or as they had like sat on the ground. And there was also one where you could see that the body had been standing up and it had turned to the right, and its footprint actually twisted, and you can see the molds of where like its heel and the crest of its heel was twisting in the dirt.
Wow. Okay, now look, Chase, you got to start taking pictures, my man.
I know, man, I know.
At least you've got the chalkboard. Okay, so yes, you've got.
We do have a few photos of the footprints that we could get. There was actually 2 sets. There was a larger one and a smaller one. But one of our coworkers has a size 16 foot, and it made his look like mine in like shacks.
Right.
I wear a 9.
Yeah, Steve Murillo, when he did his, he was up there with Alex Mistretta well, anyway, so he's up there in right next to ESETI, where they got their and that cast that he took, and I've seen it, right. This thing is massive, and Murillo's a big boy. He's probably 6'2". So is Mistretta. These are big guys, and I forget Steve's shoe size, but I want to say he was like a size 16. And this thing is like 6 inches bigger than his big ass foot. So,
yeah, exactly.
Hey, Chase, I got to head to a commercial here, my man. Now, you've got to make me a promise. You've got to start taking pictures of this. You're a magnet for this stuff.
I'm going to definitely try. I know, it's pretty crazy. I mean, a lot of the people that are on that crew are pretty spiritual, and the guy that actually had come across it is he's a native, and they had actually just gotten done with Sundance.
Right. Well, they get it. Okay, they get it.
He was right there. He's like, dude, no, look down. And he didn't even phase him. Like, I looked down, I was like, oh my God. Like, I've never, like, I know Bigfoot's out there, but I had never thought that I was going to come across tracks.
I love it, man. I love it. You got to take pictures. All right, Chase.
And next time I call in, I'll tell some of the stories from my crew that had seen Bigfoot on night.
Absolutely, Chase. Hey, have a great weekend and be safe out there fighting those fires.
Definitely. Thanks. Take care, man.
Thank you so much. This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com. Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Man, I love Thursday nights here. It's the best night of the week. Chase, that was an amazing phone call. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Open lines all night long. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
I guess all we're doing is listening to it.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi,
Jimmy.
Who's this?
Are we listening to a podcast or
This is live, right?
Yeah, this is live radio.
Yep.
Oh, no crap.
California time. We're New
Hello,
York.
this is Mike and Cindy up in the Adirondacks. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Mike, Cindy, how are you guys?
Very good.
Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like minus 15 degrees up here.
Oh, that's nothing. That's
we're making ice.
Yeah, you guys can do that standing on your head. You know what it was today here in Burbank?
What?
85.
Yeah.
85.
Yeah, it's hot over there. How's those fires?
I hate you.
Yeah, you know.
Better?
Yeah, the fires, all the fire. Well, the big fire, the Thompson fire, is still out of control. I don't know. You know, it's up to like 300,000 acres or something, and so that hasn't gone away. But the other fires that were around us, all of that is over with. Thank goodness. Yeah, it got a little close.
Everybody here is watching what's happening there.
Yeah.
And our hearts go out to you and to the people that have been displaced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I am, Jimmy, you know I'm a retired firefighter, right?
No,
and I know that one firefighter was killed today.
Yes, yes.
Fighting, the big one.
Yeah, the Thompson fire.
And Yeah, and you know what? People have to pay attention to what's going on. You got to really keep your head on a swivel. What you got to do.
Well, you know, that last week when everything kicked off, it was last week when, you know, we lost power and the winds kicked up. That morning, it was panic time for sure to look around and see what was going on, and, you know, right in front of our house, and the smoke and the ashes and the fire, and, you know, and the evacuation orders, and, you know, and so Rita and I, we have to look around, and we've got our pets, we've got the house, we've got the kids. What do we do? You know, and all of these things flash through your mind in seconds, you know, and that's what we went through. So, okay, enough of that. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, listen, you know, we've been listening to your show for quite some time now. I think what, episode 301.
Yeah, very good show. They're all good shows.
Yeah, so it goes back a couple of years. I mean, you sent us a couple T-shirts. They were the wrong size, but I'm not going to hold that against you. I love the shirts, by the way. Cindy loves them, too. She wears one of the night shirts. But, you know, we've been listening since episode 301, so we go back quite a ways. We've heard all your guests. And there seems to be a central theme in everything that you shared with everybody out there. And I got to tell you, people up here are fairly impressed with it. I mean, we're all hillbillies. But, you know, we listen to a lot of different places. We're at altitude. We're on the top of a mountain. That's why it's so cold here. And we hear a lot of different opinions, different things. But the bottom line, I guess, is that you have a voice that a lot of people listen to. And I'll tell you what, you know, here it is 15 below zero up here, and you guys are fighting wildfires out there.
Fires.
And we look at that, and we really can't relate to it, in the sense that we have snow on the ground and everything is. I mean, you couldn't start a fire up here with a road flare and 5 gallons of kerosene. It would be tough to do. And so, you know, we look out there and we go, wow. You know, the same thing with Hurricane Harvey with the people down in Houston, Texas area.
Yeah, they're still cleaning up down there.
Yeah, and, you know, same thing with Irma. You know, I mean, Puerto Rico, believe it or not, is not a state of New York. It's a territory. And there's 3.5 million people down there.
Yeah.
Most of them are still without power and clean water. So we watch all this stuff from a little perch up here.
Yeah,
and you know what, your voice, and listen, I'm not blowing smoke or anything like that. I'm just telling you that your voice is an important voice.
Yes, okay? It is.
Because you keep us in contact with a world that we really don't have a whole lot of touch with. I don't know what it's like to live out there. I mean, I'll bet there's days where you can smell the smoke.
Yeah, well, you can see it. I mean, the ashes are covering everything. You know, you know, we wake up in the morning and, you know, you go outside and your cars are covered, the driveway's covered, the back patio's covered, everything has, and I'm not exaggerating here, a half inch of ash. You know, it's just everywhere. But, you know, thank you for that. When you have something to say, and I've wanted to do this for so long, that it's more and more appreciated every day as the audience grows. That's one part of it. But the other part is that I didn't know that if what I had to say was important enough for everybody else. So there's that part of it. But then there is not so much of my message, because I don't know how important that is, but it is also trying to draw out of the guest what I think is important to the audience, because I would drive around and listen to talk radio and listen to interviewers and then listen to late night talk radio, whatever state I was in and whoever the local, things that I was listening to. And I felt that the hosts, and most of these hosts you've never heard of, right? So I'm not, poking at anybody specifically, that they were holding back, and they were, for whatever the reasons were, they didn't have the ability to ask the right questions, right? Or that they couldn't because of the show, the FCC, the radio station, a program director. Maybe it's that. For whatever reasons, I felt that if I had the opportunity to do it, that I would ask the questions that I needed to have been asked when I was listening before. And I hope I'm making sense here. And that I wanted to...
You ask very good questions in your interviews. You do. You ask...
Because I would get frustrated.
You have an incredible platform, first off, and listen, we have watched, right, from
and we listen,
and we do from altitude. I mean, we're we live in a cloud, I guess is the best way to put it. But you know what? There's people up here who are listening, and the big thing, I guess, that everybody shares, everybody agrees on, because not everybody agrees on everything, but the big thing that everybody agrees on is that you have an incredible platform to disseminate information that and you know, we see the variety. I just saw, I think it was on Yahoo, what day, John Edmonds is selling Stardust, or what is it,
the
ranch in Arizona for $6.5 million.
Right.
Now, John Edmonds, he's a guy who's going like, I cut up ETs with a samurai sword, and you got a picture of a samurai sword, on his, where his garage door opens. Okay, so listen, that's just one of your guests, and we've listened to all of your guests. The one that Cindy and I are most familiar with is Linda Moulton Howe. We've actually, we know Linda from 35 years ago. So it's not like we're newbies on the corner here, and there's a lot of people up here who have been listening to her for a very long time.
Very, very informative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and just so you know that here we are in the Adirondack Mountains, 15 below zero. We've got about 8 inches of snow on the ground, and we're listening to a guy who's supposedly in a bunker in Burbank, surrounded by wildfires.
Mm-hmm.
All right, listen, so the world has gotten a lot smaller. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, well, that's exactly the point, that you're able to do that, and. And the point. It's funny that you mentioned that, because the point that I was making is I would listen to late night talk radio as I was traveling on the road. Right, I was all over the United States. I would get on a plane on Monday morning in Burbank and fly somewhere in the United States, and I'd be gone for a week, and then I would fly back. So while I was out, I would listen to late night talk radio wherever I was. And so it was a localized situation. This is 20 years ago, 1995, before the internet. And you are in a localized situation. But today, it's not that kind of party. You may be in New York, but as you know, our audience in Australia or over in Europe or up in Canada or over in Africa.
We actually ran.
Yeah, we know that.
We ran across people in Montreal that.
Yeah, we know that.
Talk about you.
Yeah, I
we
get
share that. The border here. You know that.
Yeah,
close to the border.
Yeah. I get that, and so
you listen. Fade to Black is a well-known brand up here.
It's getting there.
We got, some of his guests are a little off, to the left or to the right, but for the most part, you have a very deep-seated and even keel. You kind of hold it, and we're impressed by how you do that. Really. And if we had any compliment to make to you for the holidays or whatever, we're impressed by the way you walk that line. We really are.
Well, thank you so much.
You do a fine job of it.
All right.
Jimmy, I got a question for you.
Sure.
All right. And I know Rita and Deanna is in Manhattan right now. They're both in Manhattan.
Yeah, look like they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah, we saw the picture of, the carriage ride. We saw that.
Right.
And Cindy and I have both taken that. And, we are New Yorkers. And New York City, this time of year is when you go down to the Rockefeller Center and you check out
the tree.
But trust me, it's not as big as it looks. I mean, it's not as big as they make it out to be.
Yeah, I know.
So what was your question?
The question was, if you wanted Rita and Deanna to bring something back from New York for you as a gift for Christmas, what would it be?
I already told them. Today, Rita doing her thing. I'll just tell everybody. So she's they're shopping, and she texts me a picture of a couple of watches, right? She goes, "Take your pick, which one?" And I was like, "Honey, we can do that anytime." And I said, "So no." And the watches were amazing. Trust me. Rita doesn't play around. And I literally said to her, and I'm not kidding. I said, "You know what? Spend the money on yourself. You know what would make me really happy? Bring me back a New York City T-shirt. That right there. Just do that, and I swear that would make me happy." So I'm hoping.
Well, the pocket with a watch in it.
yeah, knowing Rita. But I said, go have fun with that money, man. Just go have some fun with that money. We can buy watches anytime. So yeah, they're having a good time out there. And I posted that picture of them riding around in that carriage, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm wondering if they miss me, and I'm thinking, they not really.
They don't miss you at all, man.
No,
they're in Manhattan.
They're in Manhattan.
You're in LA. You're in Burbank. You're in Bunker.
I'm sure they do.
They don't miss you at all.
They do. They do.
No, the next text coming in from those two are going to be,
they're going to go to Macy's, and they're going to go.
They do miss you, but they know they'll be back.
The next text is going to be, we're not coming back.
You're a lucky, wealthy man. And you know what? That's really why we wanted to call. We wanted to call and wish you a happy holiday, Merry Christmas.
Thank you too. All right, and right back at you.
All of you. All of you.
Right back at you, man.
Everybody. Yeah. That's. You know what I want to say? I just want to say that, up here, we have a lot of poverty and a lot of blight. We're in Appalachia. We're at the northern end of Appalachia.
Right.
Where, most of the manufacturing has left the country. Most of the big manufacturing has left for China and Taiwan and, Saudi Arabia. But what I'm saying is, so what's left is a lot of blight and a lot of poverty and a lot of people that are very poor. But you know what? Up here, everybody celebrates Christmas, and they make sure that
everybody's good.
Yeah, that everybody's good. They've had something to eat, and they got a roof over their head, and I guess taking care of each other is really what Christmas is all about. So when Rita and Deanna get back from Manhattan, I'm going to tell you right now, it's 15 below zero here, Jimmy.
And it's not even winter yet.
Well, you guys stay warm. Okay, stay warm, and we'll talk.
You guys stay cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're praying that you get rain. We're praying for rain.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we are praying for rain. So until then, you guys have a great Merry Christmas and enjoy the holidays.
Thank you. You too.
You too, man. You do a great job. You really do.
Thank
great
you so
show.
much.
And we love you up here. We do.
Thank you, guys.
Good night,
Give my best to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Right back at you.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, guys. Mike and Cindy up there in the mountains of New York, minus 15 below zero. Is that what he said? Did he say 15 degrees or did he say minus 15? Well, both of them are cold to me. Rita, so this is what she was doing. Oh, okay. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 open lines. So we have FaceTime now, right? We've got these iPhones. And so Rita, calls me yesterday, and I pick up the phone. Did you guys land? Are you guys cool? Yeah. All right. So what's it like? Well, it's okay. We got a nice view of Central Park. Can I FaceTime with Teddy? I'm like, wait a minute here. I miss you guys. So what are you guys going to do tonight? No, can I FaceTime with Teddy? FaceTime with Teddy? What about FaceTime with me? No, FaceTime with Teddy. Can you? I'm serious. So anyway, this is what happens. I turn on the FaceTime and I point the phone, to Teddy, and he's looking at the phone. He doesn't know what's going on until Rita goes, "Hey, Teddy," right? And Deanna, and Teddy's reaction to the phone was priceless. Our other dogs weren't, Teddy lost his mind, right? Starts talking into the phone, clawing, picking, looking. He could see Rita's face. And, of course, Rita can see him, and Rita's reacting back to him just like she does at the house. And she has to. That's what's going on here, the love. But Teddy's reaction was gnarly. He lost his mind, right? So after that, I hang up the phone, and he is now going over to the phone and smelling it and clawing at it. He's trying, he's tripping. He's tripping on the phone. There's a little mini. Do you remember? I did this, so I know everybody had to do this. When I was, I'm going to say 4 years old, I thought that there were little people in the TV, living in the TV. Gilligan's Island is what messed with me. Gilligan's Island in the 60s, when that was on. I thought there was little people in the TV. So that's what I pictured in my mind's eye, that the TV, like when you turned it on, you were like turning on the lights in a room, right? And that these little, I did that for a couple of, I don't know what age I was when I got out of that, when I started to understand that it was, it was a signal coming in and it was a TV show and it was being broadcast. I don't know how old I was when I grasped that. But for a while, that's what I thought. Now, think about Teddy. Teddy thinks that there is Rita inside of the phone and Deanna. He was tripping out, man. He was going up and he's clawing at the phone. So we did FaceTime a couple of times yesterday, and we did it again today. So Rita calls, and she goes, "We're in Central Park." I said, "Oh, man, really? I want to see Central Park." She goes, "Okay, in a second. I want to do FaceTime with Teddy." I'm like, what do you mean FaceTime with Teddy? I want to know what's going on. What are you guys doing? What did you have for breakfast? What are you going to do later on today? I want to see you guys down in Times Square. Are you going to go see a Broadway show? What are you going to do for lunch? What's going on? You're in Manhattan. Yeah, I know. I want to FaceTime with Teddy. So she FaceTime with Teddy. And I'm holding up the phone for 15 minutes while her and Teddy are having this conversation. And after that, I hung up the phone. I let Teddy have put the phone on the floor, and I'm letting Teddy sniff the phone and enjoy the moment. It was pretty incredible to see all of that go down. And it just reminded me of when I was a kid. And I know exactly what Teddy was thinking. I mean, how cool is that? Absolutely amazing. All right. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'm going to get to you because I have something I got to share with you guys before the break. In Germany right now, in order to overcome present-day cyber security challenges, Germany now says that they must be able to hack back. They want to legally be able to, and I was surprised that this was even illegal, hack back into the computers that were hacking them, computers that injected viruses, and the culprits that are doing that into Germany's computers, both for the government and for corporations. Now, this is the head of the country's newly formed Digital Security Agency. And he says that he's arguing that similar measures are being taken now by other countries. Now, I am quoting here. Listen to this. As a German citizen, I expect that our state would remain capable to act in the face of the emergency digital threats. His name, Wilfried Karl, the president of the Central Service of Information Technologies in Security Field. It's called ZITUS. And he just said this to Der Spiegel, right, their weekly magazine. He explained that in order to make it possible, German security services, including his agency, must be empowered with wide-reaching authority in the field of cybersecurity. So he went on to say, and I'm quoting, "Would it not be desirable to have the capacity to at least delete stolen data and documents from the thieves' servers?" Now, he kind of said this rhetorically, but he explained that they should be achieved if German security services had the legal mandate to hack back. And I love it. He then pointed out that the legislation allowing intelligence services to plant malicious software back into the cyber criminals' computers in the event of hacking attacks, and if this already exists right now in Switzerland, right? The Swiss are always ahead of the game. A law passed back in 2015, which came into force this past September, allows the Swiss intelligence service, the NDB, to plant Trojans into alleged culprits' computers and hack back into their networks. Now, Karl, however, criticized a proposed U.S. bill that allows legal ways for private companies to take retaliatory measures against suspected hackers, particularly in the form of hacking back. Such offensive capabilities should be reserved for governmental agencies only. ZITUS was formed earlier this year with a directive to assist German security agencies in developing information technology tools to fight cybercrime. It was also granted powers to track the communications of potential terrorists. The Munich-based agency, which falls under the Interior Ministry, officially started its work in mid-September with just 20 employees. Right now, German authorities plan to increase that number to 400. And I am fully engaged in this. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back. We'll get back to more of your phone calls right after this short break. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. It's Fadernight. It's open lines all night long. I'll be right back.
Here, and you are listening to my boy Jimmy Church on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter, but listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. Get the tea.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. Get the tea.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hey, can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. The holidays are coming. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. At JChurchRadio. Simple. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Come and hang out with us on Twitter. Okay, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Last segment of the show, and then we head into the weekend. There you go. Okay, phone lines are open. But before I get to phone calls, three big news stories right now that have to be talked about right now on the show. That the first thing is this. NASA had their big press conference today and has announced the discovery of a solar system similar to ours. And they found another planet, or the solar system's called Kepler 90, and it's pretty impressive. They announced the discovery of an eighth exoplanet in the Kepler 90 solar system, making it the only known one with the same number of planets as ours. Now, amid rumors that it would make an announcement of, something extraterrestrial, NASA revealed today that the new discovery was another planet in the system called Kepler 90I. The system surrounds a sun-like star, Kepler 90, 2,545 light years from Earth. It's a mini version of our solar system, and obviously you have planets. Kepler 90I doesn't fall inside the habitable zone that everybody's excited about, but there are 8 planets there, and they are closely looking at it. It's about 30% larger than Earth, and is so close to its star that the average surface temperature is exceeding 800 degrees Fahrenheit, much like Mercury. Now, there's another planet there. It's called Kepler 90H. It's the outermost planet in the solar system, and it sits a similar distance from its sun as our Earth does. Now, this discovery was made by the Kepler telescope, and it studies 15,000 stars every single minute. But this was assisted by and analyzed by Google. Yes. Now, this is where it gets a little creepy for me. The machine learning technique has been described by NASA as a new approach to artificial intelligence, in which computers learn to identify planets through signals recorded by the Kepler telescope. And now I'm quoting here, just as we expected, these exciting discoveries lurking in our archived Kepler data, Kepler data, and waiting for the right tool or technology to unearth them. That's according to Paul Hertz, director of NASA's Astrophysics Division in Washington. He went on to say, this finding shows that the data will be a treasure trove available to innovative researchers for years to come. Kepler has been discovering these planets beyond our solar system since March 2009, and this data is just sitting there. Now, since 2014, these official numbers are now out. Kepler has discovered 3,400 exoplanets. Now, there's another part of this data that is kind of strange. They are saying that includes 30 Earth-sized planets orbiting within the habitable zones of their stars. I don't know what the real number is on that. We only know what we are being told. Is it exciting? With all of these exoplanets. Now, the way that this happens is this. You have to picture a star, planet going around the star. So when the planet is in front of us, we are looking at the dark side of that planet. As it goes around, right, now the planet is lit up to us with the reflection of the star, right? Okay, so then it goes behind the planet, comes out on the other side. It's lit up again because we see the reflection of the star coming off of the planet. You know how we have a half moon, right? Same thing is going on here. And then it comes out, when it's directly in front of us, it's dark. It's also blocking out the sun when that happens. So you see a decrease in the star, right? Decrease of the light because the planet is there. So it's been measuring this. But now we can see how long it takes to orbit. This has been going on for 4 years. So they are scanning 15,000 stars at a time, and they're looking for all of these deviations and the astronomical amount of computing that has to go on to measure all of this. Much of it happening at the exact same time. Some of these planets take a while to orbit their sun, right? This particular planet that they found today, I should say, 14 and a half days. 14 and a half days. Their year, 14 and a half days. Was a bit, right around. Now, if E.T. was measuring us, they would have to wait 365 days, right? A year, our year for us to orbit. So now, this is what's trippy as you think about this. How many, because we have 8, how many planets do we have? 9, 8.5. Pluto's in, Pluto's out. Nibiru's in, Nibiru's out. Planet X. Okay, so let's say 8. Let's just go with 8 for now. All of these exoplanets that have been discovered so far because of the computing power that is applied there and how they are looking at it, it was 1 planet per star. Some maybe 2. There could be multiple solar systems out there. And now that Google is in the picture and using their AI technology, are we going to see solar systems now like ours pop up everywhere? Let's back up a couple of years. We thought that one sun and a planet is what that was the norm. And now, as it turns out, binary star systems are the norm. We are the exception. We may have a binary sun out there that we don't know about, right? There's Walter Cruttenden has been talking about this for years. But as the technology and the computing power gets applied to this, we're finding out more and more. What we are finding out is that we've been completely wrong. Completely. We thought that there was going to be a couple of exoplanets found. Well, now in the last 3.5 years, the number is 3,400, with 30 that they're telling us about that are in the Goldilocks zone. Absolutely fascinating to think that there's another solar system out there with multiple planets around us. We are not alone in this universe. We're simply not alone. In our Milky Way, we are not alone. This stuff is going to continue to be discovered. And it's going to, everything that we know is just rewritten, everything. It's an absolutely fascinating time to be alive. Now, right on the heels of that, okay, this was just released. The NASA Kepler mission discovered 219 more exoplanets, including 10 Earth-sized planets. And this is according to Mario Perez. He said this past Monday, and from NASA's Ames Research Center right here in California. 10 of the planets are potentially rocky, close to the size of Earth, and within the habitable zone of the stars that they orbit, meaning that they could support liquid water and so forth on their surface. The Kepler data set is unique, and it's the only one containing a population of these near-Earth analogs, planets with roughly the same size and orbit of our Earth, he said. With the addition of this latest release, Kepler has now identified, are you ready? This is the second set of data that just came out. 4,034 planet candidates. 2,335 of them have been confirmed as exoplanets. The mission has also found 50 candidates similar in size to Earth, with more than 30 of them confirmed. Of the 10 newly discovered Earth-sized planets, one is the closest to Earth in size and the distance to its host star, but researchers don't know much more than that. In comparison, our solar system looks like it has 3 planets in the habitable zone, which is Mars, Venus, and Earth. Right now, if you think about it, okay, that's exciting. We have Mars. We know that Venus is a problem, right? And then Earth is perfect, right? That's the Goldilocks, right? That's the whole Goldilocks thing. This new data from the Kepler mission also suggests that within the family tree of exoplanets found, the smaller ones fall into 2 distinct sizes, Earth-like planets and super-Earths. This sharpens the dividing line between potentially habitable planets and those that are inhospitable to life as we know it. Now, it's getting crazy. I don't know where to take any of this right now. I really don't. Because I feel like this is what we are being told. We're not being told everything. And that's what I just find it suspicious. Now, before I get to the phones, I want to be able to get all of this news in tonight before the show, because it's all breaking right now. Back on October 19th, we found this interstellar asteroid, ship, what have you. And, so it comes in from interstellar space, and now it's taking a turn, and it's moving, and we know now that it's about 400 meters long and 40 meters across. We've seen artist renditions of it. So the Green Bank Telescope, the Breakthrough Listen project from SETI, decided to point at it because they wanted to make sure that it wasn't an alien craft, or was it? Well, okay, preliminary. They've been listening for 2 days. The preliminary results are in. They can't find anything coming back off of this object. Okay, so is it Is it alien? Well, right now they're saying no. Now, it's only been going on for 2 days. They make observations from 3:45 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And so more data is going to be coming in the days ahead. But wouldn't it be exciting? The reason why they're tripping is the shape of this. It just doesn't look like your typical asteroid, right? It's not round, right? Not perfectly round, but it's elongated. So think about that. I keep thinking about Arthur C. Clarke and Rama. All right, so those are the 3 breaking news stories I wanted to get in tonight before I got out of here. So now let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Sabrina.
It's who?
Sabrina.
Sabrina, how are you?
I'm doing okay. It's been a trippy night.
It's always a trippy night. If it's not a trippy night, it's not trippy.
Yeah, just with all the different news things that are going on, the energy of the people, the things that they've been going through, experiencing.
I do this every Thursday night. Been doing it for years. And nothing surprises me anymore. In fact, I'm excited about getting into the chair and taking the phone calls. I think everybody is anxious to share and ask questions, and it's such an uplifting night for me. It's just always exciting. So yeah. I never find it. I used to call it trippy. I don't anymore. It's just another night on the show. So what's on your mind?
Yeah. Oh, just for me, the energies, being the empath that I am, some of the things that the folks have been talking about, the emotional energy I was feeling coming through them.
Like what?
In those moments. Like the lady that was speaking about stage 3 cancer dropping down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I was going through my situation with cancer back in 2004, I found similar things where I didn't go with the route the doctors wanted me to go, and I turned inward. And I had dropped things down and so forth, and I found that my last steps and stages to clear out the last of it was looking at the things I experienced as a child and connecting the dots to how the beliefs that I held were creating the diseases within me.
Mm-hmm.
And that has seemed to be something that many folks that cure it and cure it without going the modern way are finding is when they start connecting those dots, all those illnesses that they were diagnosed with disappear. All those medications they had to take, you stop having to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I although I'm reticent to dispensing medical advice because I'm not a doctor, and so I'm very, very careful about what I say. I bear a lot of responsibility.
I'm only speaking from experience.
Right.
When I went through mine, I was on 14 pills 4 times a day.
Right.
They were telling me I was going to die, and there was nothing they could do for me.
Right.
I had 2 forms of cancer.
Right. And I know that even off of the air, I've had some pretty incredible conversations and email exchanges with people around the country that have seen these dramatic reversals in blood and testing that has come back where they've seen things, just take an absolute reversal. And I hear I'm encouraged by it. I don't dispense of medical advice, but when I hear this independently,
it's not a medical advice, it's giving hope.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to have somebody do the wrong thing because they listen to this show and they do something wrong, right? And it didn't help. And I don't want to have that responsibility. But I will say,
I'll take full responsibility.
No, you won't. You don't want that. but all kidding aside,
the thing is everyone has the ability and free will to make their own choice and decision. Any choice they make is theirs to make. No one else is responsible for it but them.
Right. And again, I think this is when I talk about myself, I know that I practice what I preach. I do not manifest illness in my own mind. I don't think about it. I don't trip on it. I don't use the power of suggestion because that you can. There's, one of the easiest things to do. One of the easiest things to do is to get a cold. You know how you get a cold? You sit there and you say something stupid. I haven't had a cold in 2 years. The next day.
Very true.
Right,
Very true.
right. And you will think yourself into having a cold. And so I totally get that. I totally, your mind is an unbelievable, powerful thing. So now, can you get a cold from shaking somebody's hand? You certainly can. Can you pick up germs? You absolutely can. Can you do stupid things to make yourself sick? Absolutely. Can you get a cut on your hand, not wash it, and it gets infected? Absolutely. Should you go and yeah, absolutely. There, you can cause things.
There's common sense.
Yeah. Your mind is not going to fix an infection on your hand because you didn't clean it and put something on it and put a Band-Aid on it. That's on you. There's no question about that. Your mind isn't going to fix that. I get that. But not going, watching a TV commercial and going, do you have lack of sleep? Are you tired every day? Do you do that? Right. And they give 30 symptoms on TV, and you're sitting there and you're like, wow.
Wait. Do they have commercials like that?
Come on. So you watch.
I don't watch TV.
Well,
I haven't watched it in years.
Okay, but back to my point. So you watch all of these things, and now you go to your doctor and you say, this medication they advertised on TV, the symptoms, I have this, and this. And now you are being the doctor because of what you saw with Big Pharma on TV, the powers of suggestion. Now all of a sudden, you've got some crazy thing. And they're going to prescribe it to you. And that's the problem here.
Yeah, well, what you are talking about is a subversive form of psychological manipulation.
Yes, and
they use your own mind against you.
But Sabrina, you're the exception to the rule. There's 350 million people in this country. You are one. Out of the 350 million people in this country,
one, my brother. It only takes one.
But listen,
shine the light of truth.
If you just listen to me for a second, though, Big Pharma advertises to hundreds of millions of people. They're not advertising to you. You don't even watch TV, so their effectiveness with you is non-existent. But it is effective to the hundreds of millions of people that watch those commercials. And until that tide is changed, it's that money, and then they turn around. This is what is just frustrating to me. They take that money, they turn around and they pay off the lobbyist in Washington to allow this type of prescribed medication advertised on TV. That's not advertising for doctors. It's advertising for people to think that they have these problems. So they turn around and go to the doctors and ask for this prescribed medication. And this is the other thing. And I've got to wrap up this show, Sabrina, but this is the other thing. At the end of those commercials, they do the disclaimer, may cause suicidal thoughts, may cause you to kill your dog, may cause you to wreck your car, may cause you to may cause, and you're like, wait, this is actually being advertised on television. I don't understand how we got here. There's no reason for any of those prescribed any one of them to be advertised on television. None. Doctors aren't watching those commercials. They're not. You know, and it's an unbelievable thing that we have going on in this country. It's unbelievable. Sabrina, listen, I got to go. I got to wrap this show. Have a great, safe, wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
All right. Blessings to you, brother, and blessings to all the Fadernight.
Right back at you. You too, Sabrina. Thank you so much. I don't get it. You know, and if you know what I'm going to do this weekend, since I have all this free time now that Rita is in New York. Oh, by the way, she texted me, or she called me. She forgot about the time change. She thought the show was over. Then she texted me back, oops, sorry, forget about the time change. She'll be calling in 10 minutes. I don't know what the numbers are. How many doctors are there in America? How many doctors? That's who Big Pharma needs to advertise to, right? Send the ads to their cell phones. Send them direct. Send it right to them, not to the other 200 million people, the adults in this country that are watching television, that are watching those commercials. You know, what is that number? I don't know. I don't know how many doctors are in this country, but that's the law that should be passed. Right there. Congress should say, you know how many people you can advertise to? The amount of doctors that are in this country. That's it. That's it. You cannot advertise any more than that. Direct mail, put something in the mail, right? Send them a video, send them a DVD. They can watch the DVD in their office on their computer, but you can't do this anymore on television. What a great world this would be. All right, now I've got to leave you with this before I get out of here. I got a whole minute left. But Kendrick Lamar said on the Howard Stern show that he saw a UFO, but nobody believes him. The rapper was speaking on Stern's Sirius XM show, and he recalled how he saw something right here in Los Angeles, in Compton, when he was 6 years old, and he said it looked like a dart. And he said it went past him. Him and his mom were sitting out on their front porch. And he says, I probably shouldn't even be talking about it, but I'm going to stand my ground. Nobody believed me then, and nobody believes me now. It's just something that I can't really describe because it just sounds like, okay, you just saw a dart go past. And he says, that bleep don't make any sense. It was just a surreal moment. He says, that he was sitting there with his mom, and, you know, he says, I've seen ghosts before, and I've seen UFOs too. And he says, it was just a dart, a flash, and he described it as a, you know, shooting past him. And he says, it wasn't a shooting star. It was a UFO. He says, it was flashes in the sky, and I'll never forget it. And that was my encounter, and still to this day, I know that something else is out there. Kendrick Lamar. There you go. Well, that concludes another Fader Night here on Fade to Black. Thank you to everybody that called in tonight. So much fun. Twitter on fire. Love it. I love you, Rita, Deanna. I know you guys are listening out there in New York. You guys have fun and be safe. And go eat at a diner in the morning. And then you can FaceTime with Teddy. Fade to Black's executive producer, who is not here, is Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. Thank you to Jon Rappoport and everybody that called and tweeted in tonight. This broadcast is only copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. They cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Everybody have a great weekend. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Everybody be safe. Go back, Lee Tepe.